Good morning. Thank you to everyone. In particular, thank you to Sean and the conference organizers. I'm grateful to be here. My name is Gina Valenti. I'm also honored and grateful to be here and to have Faith, Morgan, and Ben as amazing technical support during this technologically advanced time we're in. I'd like to start off this morning's session by reading something to you from a couple of my favorite books. So the first one is from The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success by Dr. Deepak Chopra. It's one of my favorite books, and seeing as today is Friday, in the book, Dr. Chopra, the author, attaches and aligns a spiritual law with every day of the week. So today for Friday, according to Dr. Chopra, is the law of detachment. So for today, we're going to allow yourself and others the freedom to be who they are. Do not force solutions. Allow them to spontaneously emerge. Uncertainty is essential in your path to freedom. The second quote I'd like to read is from another one of my favorite books called The 7 Spiritual Laws of Yoga. This book was written by Dr. Deepak Chopra along with Dr. David Simon. And the quote from The 7 Spiritual Laws of Yoga for Friday, the law of detachment. At the level of spirit, everything is always unfolding perfectly. We don't have to struggle or force situations to go our way. Instead, we can intend for everything to work out as it should. Take action, and then allow opportunities to spontaneously emerge. So what I'd like to chat about today, I'm gonna distill down just about 30 years of marketing and public relations experience, and distill it down for you and try to give you the wisdom and nuggets and knowledge I have gained. In particular, the last 16 years, I've been helping authors generate name recognition and brand awareness for themselves and their books. So my hope and intention for today is for the authors or writers watching this is that I can impart a few nuggets that'll help you along your path as an author. And I'm going to share. So the yoga of marketing. So what I've learned during my time as a marketing PR consultant is that, with my own experience with my authors and my clients, is that the marketing process can be aligned with the chakra system. For those of you watching, if are there any yoginis watching us today? So the chakras are energetic centers in our body. I like to think of them as little spinning discs. So today we're going to align those with the marketing process. So we're going to start at the bottom with our root chakra, or in business and in marketing, I like to think of this as really your core. So we start with the research, obviously, and the target market. I think, it's really, in today's world, people use the term platform a lot. When I first started out in business, the word in real estate years ago, the word we used then was sphere of influence. Today people also call it your list. it's important for authors to have this base. And I get a lot of questions from authors. Well, what format should I use? There are hundreds of different options. I have worked with authors who used an expensive model like Salesforce.com. It doesn't have to be that sophisticated nor expensive. Excel spreadsheet will work just fine. I believe now there's one called HubSpot that is free. There's Oracle. When I work with clients in the architectural, engineering, and construction community, we've used a database called Deltek Vision. I mean, there are literally hundreds of examples, but it's important for authors to develop this solid base for themselves. This is really one of the very first things I consult my authors to do, is to gather up everyone and their email address and put them in one place. Again, constant contact is fine. MailChimp, there are all different forms that this could take. For those watching today, most of this is probably already done because they're authors who already have created an LLC, they already have their ISBN number for their book. A lot of times I have the authors who write a beautiful book. They find an amazing publishing house to publish their book, and then their book goes up on Amazon and nothing happens. I've read a statistic that the average author sells less than 200 copies of the book. I find that just hard to believe. Actually, yesterday too, I read a new statistic. I believe it was Hay House published it, that 30% of a list, using that word, platform, database, will buy your book. These are sort of eye-opening statistics. What is important for authors is, and, I get the question all the time, how do I sell books? Well, we have to generate name recognition and brand awareness, for starters, through media opportunities. But the Amazon optimization is really key here. So I like to see lots of keywords, lots of categories. I love for the authors I work with to upload videos of themselves. All of this Amazon optimization really helps with the algorithms in terms of selling more books. Amazon reviews are important. I like for my authors to aspire for 100 5-star reviews on Amazon. It sounds so simple, but it's really key. Again, what we want to do is really create. We want to positively impact those algorithms on Amazon. And this question comes up a lot too with my authors: is how do I distribute the book? So putting the book up on Amazon is one thing, but then how is a reader or potential buyer supposed to know your book is up there? We really have to find a way to generate awareness and recognition. So the third chakra, that's Manipura, solar plexus chakra. This is where we focus on. And again, most of the people watching this stream will already have figured out their core competency, their target market, what if they're going to offer programs or events. Many of my authors now do online courses, video courses. And then we structure, in this process, we structure when are they going to offer them, what the content is, where and how much does it cost. I love this, the heart chakra, of course, Anahata in Sanskrit, it's called Anahata chakra. I believe it was Tom Robbins, who's a novelist, who said there are only two mantras. One of them is yum and one of them is yuck. I love that because when I'm working with authors, I want to have them put their attention on what is working for them. Just an example pops up. This author I was working with, she kept spending all this money on social media. I believe her budget was $10,000, but she didn't sell any books from the social media advertising she was doing or promotion. And okay, that to me is a yuck. So let's put our attention on what is working. She did a book signing at a local bookstore in Arizona called Changing Hands. And she sold 100 copies of the book. And I believe she was there for 2 hours. So to me, that was a yum. And they put her book in airports. So we were able to get the distribution into airports. That to me was a yum. So I like to work with authors to help them figure out what are their yums, what makes them different than all the other authors on Amazon or in bookstores, and really figure out, help them figure out who their target audience is, and then who their secondary market is as well. This is really the fifth, this is the throat chakra, the Suda chakra, the throat area. This is where we speak our truth. And this is really where what I do, or I have done for my entire career, really where this comes into play to really help authors here is the goal is to develop a meaningful relationship with all of your clients, past, current, and future. Business development, we call that. Marketing, they're really, I call this push and pull. I'm not sure what the industry appropriate term is. I use the words push, meaning we want to be pushing out clear communication, not bombarding our list, but really creating a dynamic relationship and meaningful push, whether it's an email distribution, whether it's social media communication, but we also want to be pulling, meaning we want to be gleaning information from our clients, past, present, and future, about what we can do better. What do they want? What do they want to see from us? This is essential. Public relations is really important for authors. And it's fairly simple. The best way is to write a press release and distribute it to the media. That's a good way to begin a dialogue or communication with the media. So to me, this is not rocket science. You write the press release based on AP style, and then distribute it to the media. I, as a public relations consultant, I subscribe to a North American media database that I pay for annually. Let's go back. And I've subscribed to this for, I don't know, maybe 20 years. There are all different kinds of media databases that authors could subscribe to. The one I use is called Cision. There are countless of them. I also subscribe to PR Newswire as well as PR Web. Writing the press release needs to be newsworthy, obviously, factual. There's not really, when people hear the word public relations, they think there's this sizzle factor, which maybe there is, I'm not aware of it, but it really is about writing a factual newsworthy release and then communicating that to the media. That's what I call push. So we're pushing out messaging via a press release. Pull here is when we have writers, editors, producers who are on deadline to file a story. So an example of this might be, I'm gonna say Reader's Digest. There's a writer who's writing a story for Reader's Digest, and he or she would like to quote an expert, and they need this expert's input by 5 o'clock today. So that is what I call pull. And there's for authors, there's a free way to do this. It's called, I touch on it here, I'll jump around a little bit. HARO is what it's called, HARO. It's free. And it stands for Help a Reporter Out. And it's free for anyone to subscribe to. So what happens is, I think we get them about 3 times a day. They come in batches, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, and one in the evening. And these are, again, writers, producers, editors who are on deadline, and they need experts for their story. So that's free for anyone to do. Sales and distribution. Okay, this is an important piece of the puzzle for authors. It really is. So to my knowledge, as I've been working with authors through the years, I'm sure now there are many, many more distribution companies, but early on in this business, there were 3 main distribution companies in the publishing industry. Ingram being one of the largest, I believe. Baker and Taylor was the second, and then third, Ingram, Baker, and Taylor. Oh, NBN, National Book Network. So I feel it's important to have this piece. Again, a lot of my authors put their book up on Amazon and then it sits there and no one knows it's available. I prefer that my authors partner or team with a distribution company. It really helps their generate name recognition and exposure for them. I'm writing my own book, The Yoga of Marketing, and I have, my publishing company is Indigo River Publishing, but I'm working with Simon & Schuster for the distribution piece of it. So I feel if I can help my authors partner with a distribution company, I'd like to do that if possible. Tactics. So we can email our database with relevant, pertinent, meaningful information. Social media is one of those things that authors, they, talk about, well, I have 10,000 followers on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and that's fabulous. I love when my authors tell me this, but again, it's about what are we doing? Okay, so we have all these followers. How are we? What's the dynamic exchange? And I would like for their social media engagement to be meaningful and relevant to their books, their topics, their expertise. Press releases, again, we talked a little bit about this. Write a solid, factual, newsworthy press release. Put it in Associated Press, AP style, and then distribute it. Again, I have a media database, and I'm sure there are hundreds of different kinds of media databases you could use to distribute the information. Help a reporter out. We talked about this. These, they come in batches, and you can get overwhelmed in them. There's sort of a formula I like to use with my authors is to answer the query in a short paragraph or 3 bullets. Get really clear and to the point. Answer the reporter or the writer or the producer, whomever it is. Answer their question. Don't give a lot of extraneous information. Just answer the question, and I call it chunk it down. If you can chunk it down into a paragraph or 3 bullet points, that's lovely. And then at the bottom, I like to put a very short about the author, a very short bio. That's the formula I've used in the past. And we've gotten, me, myself, and I've gotten authors, in Forbes this way, and when it was still around, if it is Spot Magazine, the list goes on and on. So these work if you stay with them. These days, I'm finding more and more with my authors that Amazon advertising is helpful. and important. And again, we already talked about getting 100 5-star reviews on Amazon really is helpful in impacting the algorithms. Publishers' weekly banner ads advertising is, I've found a couple of my authors have found that to be really helpful in terms of selling books. And then big three reviews are important. So the big three are Kirkus, Library Journal, and Publishers Weekly. So if we can get an author really excellent reviews in those three trade publications, then there's a good chance we have a shot at actually getting the author's book in libraries across the country. So that's all good and exciting yums for the author. Intuition. So this is important. Again, to take a look at what's working and not working. I gave you the example of the author who had spent all the money on social media advertising and was getting no return. So it's really important in the marketing, in this whole entire process, the marketing process, to step back and really analyze the ROI and then the number of books sold and what do we need to do differently moving forward. And then whatever is working, we obviously continue to do that and expand upon that. Whether it's Amazon ads, always Amazon optimization. The 5-star reviews are exceptional, really, in terms of impacting how many books are sold and generating more of that name recognition and brand awareness that we talked about. So I like to show some of the successes we've had with some of our authors. I'm looking down here. It looks like this was published. This was published in Organic Spa magazine originally in 2008, and then it looks like this placement was also repurposed in Lux Soul magazine. This is one of my authors who, her first book, we were able to get a lot of media coverage. We were able to get her book promoted in Costco magazine. It's called Costco Connection, actually, is the name of the magazine. This one, Organic Spa, excuse me, Lux Soul magazine. She was in Huffington Post numerous times, on lots of local television. I believe we may have gotten even national, I can't remember, national television exposure, but we had a lot of success with her national media campaign. These are just some of the, let me see if I can move this. These are some of the outlets where my authors have been featured. Forbes magazine and their online outlet. When Oprah had a show, we had a client on the Oprah Winfrey show. Oprah magazine, I've had a couple of my clients featured there. Let's go back. I don't want to go back for some reason. That's okay, we'll just go on here. So I'd like to show some of my clients' books here and the different strategies and tactics that we use for their campaign. So I'll go back here. This book was published, the initial book was published by Hay House Publishing Company. Sarah, a beautiful spirit meditation instructor. This is her first book that Hay House published. You can see she was able to get a endorsement or quote by Deepak Chopra. They put on the cover of the book, and that was her first book. This is the book that we were able to get published in the Costco Connection, as well as numerous other media outlets. Hay House publisher. This, now it's going to go back. This New York Times, these are other places where we've been able to get the authors. The New York Times, feature story, a couple authors, we got feature stories in the New York Times, Red Book Magazine, Dr. Sharon Lamb Hartman, People, Judith Pearson, one of our authors, Travel and Leisure, CNN, and the list goes on. Now, there we go, we're back to this. Okay, so Michael Bowker is an exceptional writer. This book he self-published, I believe, through his own publishing company called 60 Degrees Publishing. He is an exceptional writer. He had written hundreds of articles for different outlets and several nonfiction books. And this is his first novel that got option for a motion picture. And we did an extensive national media campaign for this book. This book here it was published by Atria Books, a division of Simon & Schuster. And this is one of the first clients I was able to get on Oprah Radio. Just an amazing, inspirational transformation, personal transformation book. So I get asked the question a lot, well, what was your favorite book or your favorite author or who sold the most books, this and that. This is one of my favorite books and one of my favorite authors, just because her story is so inspirational. The book was first published, we're jumping now. The book was first published also by Atria, Simon & Schuster. They published the book. This is the original version of it. And you can see she was able to get an endorsement by Larry King at the top. And then they re-released it, I believe. I can't quite recall how many years later, but they redid the cover, which was just, it was really amazing to see the transformation. And so we were able to get a lot of national media coverage for Valerie and her team. And I like to say media coverage begets media coverage. It's sort of like a domino effect, because what ended up happening with Valerie is she ended up being able to get her own television show on HGTV, which was just exceptional for her and her team. This is a piece of the puzzle that I like to share with authors. So when I work with authors, I like for them, we collaborate and develop what I call a one-pager, sophisticated name, for the book. So I like for whoever I'm sending this to, which would be in the case we're referring to, the media, I like for the media to see the author's energy, face, who's the author. I like for the media to be able to put a face with the book. So this is important. This beautiful woman here, Claude Baronry, this book, we were able to get this book featured on the Today Show. But so for authors, I like to take, oops, I'm not sure what's happening here, but there we go. I like to take the book, put the title really large at the top, the author's name, picture the author, picture the book. And then I like to give the media story ideas. So you can see here, this was a while back, but you can see why 20% of women will fail their New Year's. You just give the media story ideas. It makes it simple. It's, it captures their attention. On this one, we put, we always give them story ideas. If we have endorsements, we put those on the one pager. And those are an example. And you know, authors, some authors do these themselves. Some of them hire expensive graphic design firms. You know, it's totally at the discretion and budget of the author. This, I believe, we were able to sell about 11,000 copies of a book after we got it on the Today Show. I do remember a producer telling me, though, a producer at the Today Show telling me that she got 200 books per day, and there was no way she could go through all of them. And they ended up donating a lot of them to charity. So it's quite an interesting process to go through this with authors, as you can see. So I have resources that I would like to share with those who are viewing today. And you can email me here. This is my email address. One of the resources I would like to share, and I have permission to do so, is another one of my favorite authors, Jack Canfield, has shared with me his marketing plan for one or more of his books. And he has created a document called How to Market a Bestseller. And I would like to share that with anyone, and again, I have permission to do so, anyone who is interested in creating name recognition, selling more books, then feel free to email me here, gina@lightboxpr.com. And this is a picture of, in Arizona, the sanctuary on Camelback Mountain, just for inspiration and just to give you in on a beautiful visual note. And I'm going to reach out to Faith and Morgan.
We're here, Gina.
And I want to say thank you again to everyone for being here today and for joining the conference. And I look forward to continuing this conversation as we move forward.